Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 67 of Heard You Like Me, and this one is titled Shopping Trip. Belle soirée, you said to him, speaking in French to see his reaction. Oui, he replied brightly, flicking his hair as he gave you a closed-lipped smile. Es-tu excité par le café? You asked him again, speaking in French, as you asked him if he was looking forward to the café. Oui, he said again with another flamboyant pose. Is that the extent of your French? You deadpanned at him, asking him in English this time. Oui, he said again, spinning so that his school uniform fanned out a little. Odd one, you thought, as you watched him. You'll look amazing in your dress when you do that spin, you added. Oui, I know. I always look the best, even if I'm not the main character, he said, and you tilted your head at him. What? You asked. I've been in a few of her books, but never as the main character, he said somewhat tragically. It's a crime, really, he added. I am not sure what you're referring to, you asked with confusion. MLB, of course. What's it like being the main character? He asked, stopping his erratic movements to question you. I have no idea who that is or what you're talking about, but good for you and stay blessed, you replied as you backed away and then turned slowly to leave. No sudden movements, no sudden movements, you coached yourself quietly as you left the room. Wow, I have no idea what in the Fruit Loop he was talking about back there, but I think it's best to stay clear of that one. You shook your head with a chuckle as you headed out of the school grounds to go to your dorm room. You just needed a second. Later that night, still in the school grounds, you helped Momo collate all of the female waiter and male waitress outfits and got their measurements together. Okay, so, you said, holding up a paper and reading out the sizes for shoulders, waist and hips. Here is the one for Bakugo. You read his sizes out and then paused. Wait a damn minute, is this correct? You asked, showing Momo the paper and the size of Bakugo's waist. Yes, that's correct. I took these measurements myself, she said proudly. Damn, bro. He's got the slimmest waist. He's going to have an hourglass figure in these pinafores, you said with a half chuckle. I'm actually a little jealous. Oh, you have curves too, Yin, Momo said with a smile. You can do either. You look good in pants and also good in a dress. You're very lucky, and I'm very lucky to be able to be by your side in either fashion. That reminds me, what am I going to wear on the day? I'm going to be hidden mostly, you said. Can I just wear cargos and a shirt? Oh, most certainly not, she gasped. Oh my, no. I'm making you something special. Momo, I swear if it's a dress, you warned. No, I promise. It's not going to be a dress. You'll really like this, I promise, she said with a grin. And I suppose you won't tell me what it is? You asked, and she giggled and gave you a beautiful smile. I'm sorry, Yin, but you'll have to wait and see, she said. Of course, you replied. Why did I even think that you would have told me? Of course you weren't going to. She smiled sweetly and got up. Well, if you'll excuse me, I need to go and continue my work, she said. You watched her go with a smirk and shake of your head. She could be really cheeky sometimes. In the weeks leading up to the festival, it was all systems go. Between schoolwork, homework, quirk work, and helping with festival preps, it was full on. You did your best to spend time with both your girls, and you felt like you were doing okay, but thankfully it was all eyes on preparing for this cafe, so they were both occupied as well. There were occasions where you could grab a chance to give a quick kiss to Jirou in the storeroom while you were supposed to be counting tables and chairs, and then a quick kiss to Momo in the cold room of the school kitchen when checking to see what other stock items you would need. But overall it was fun getting ready for this day, and when you were invited to come along and help on the weekend to get food for the menu items, you jumped at the opportunity. So, what are we getting today? You asked the kitchen crew. All the items on this list, Momo said to you, as you, her, Sato, Koda and Ojiro stepped up to the doors of the local grocery store. 50 kilograms of sugar? You asked with surprise when you saw it written on the list. Oh, I'm sure that's not right, Momo said, with as much surprise as you, as she took the piece of paper from you and looked at it, her eyes being drawn to where you were pointing. Oh, heavens! Oh, I've accidentally drawn a 0 on the end. I'm so sorry. It was just meant to be 5 kilos. Oh, man, good thing I was here, you said with a laugh. Otherwise you would have bought 50 kilograms of sugar. Yeah, we would have for sure, Sato said. It wouldn't have mattered, though, since we'd be able to use it for other things over time. But it would have blown our budget, and we need to keep to our spending limits. Man, can you imagine if Aizawa had seen that we spent that much money on sugar? You laughed. Ojiro pulled her face and cringed a bit. Oh, yeah. That wouldn't have been good, he said. Coda just nodded emphatically. Okay, gang, let's go to it then, you said, as you took the first steps towards the doors of the shop. They all followed you, and you held the list of items up and then pointed to the first aisle. Okay, there are 3 items on the list that we need from this aisle, so let's start here, you said, grabbing a trolley as you walked past one. Coda nodded and stepped up beside you, so you passed the trolley to him. You want to drive this? You asked him, and he nodded brightly and took the bar from you so that you could walk beside Momo and he could push behind you. Okay, you said, looking down the list. So this is the baking and cooking aisle, so we will need sugar, oil, flour. Wait, good thing I'm tall. We need the big ones on top of the share. You paused when you stopped and looked up at the 20-litre vats of cooking oil sitting up high. I know I can reach that, but that's going to be a heavy lift, you said out loud. Wait, I got it, Sado said, reaching into his back pocket and pulling out a stick of sugar that you could usually find on a cafe table, and he quickly ripped open the small packet and chucked it into his open mouth before reaching up to grab the vat and then just easily muscled it down, gently, and put it in the trolley, and you just stared in awe at the ease at which he had done that. Wow, I'm impressed, you said. So sugar gives you the boost? Yep, he replied with a smile. Great, glad we've got you here today then, sir. You've already been a big help, you said with a chuckle. Happy to help, he said. Then you moved further down the aisle and started collecting the sugar and flour that you would need as well, with Ojiro helping to get some flour bags down with his tail. Wow, you said again when you watched him and Sato use their quirks with ease. You guys sure have handy quirks. They smiled happily, glad to have some time to show off their skills. What about you, Coda? You asked the shy classmate. You'd only really spoken to him that morning on your way in, and aside from him being pleasant, but not a great or loud talker, you hadn't really had a chance to ask him what his quirk was. I can communicate with animals, he said softly, although it's not very useful here. Well, at the moment your pushing is doing the trick, so I wouldn't be too worried about your quirk not being useful at the moment, you said with a smile at him. He looked at you and gave you a shy smile in return. Oh, Yin is so lovely, Momo thought, and you had to glance at her for that one. You really do make everyone feel so welcome, she added in her mind, knowing you were listening in. Yeah, but these guys are all so sweet. It's hard not to be nice, you thought back, but you didn't say anything out loud. And there is the end of chapter 67. Stay tuned for chapter 68 coming tomorrow. I'll see you then.